it's Jean from Happy Indulgence and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about the books that I read during February and rave about Strange the Dreamer, which was absolutely awesome. As I predicted, I didn't read as many books this month, so I read 4 books and there was 1 DNF. So I'm going to talk about my favorite books down to the books I like the least, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So there's no doubt about it, but Strange the Dreamer is a book that every reader should have. This is the UK ARC edition and it is absolutely beautiful. There's no title on the front, but I have a signed book plate as well and it is absolutely gorgeous. Basically, Strange the Dreamer is a book that's both monstrous and memorable, and it's sort of like a book where you have only dreamed of and Laini Taylor has really brought it to life. So on the one hand, there's Laszlo, who is a librarian and he's dreamed of this mysterious world of the Weep and he's always wanted to visit it. And then his nemesis is pretty much like this alchemist, and he's a prince and he's really privileged, but he has a bit of a darker secret. So both of these boys get invited to visit the real world of the Weep and uncover the mysterious secrets. On the other hand, there's these blue goddesses, they're blue-skinned children who are of the same age. They have these magical powers that are monstrous and they have the power to inflict all this harm and danger upon the humans living in Weep. The main girl, who is Soria, she's somehow built empathy through her powers, and it's really interesting the different perspectives between the goddesses of the Weep and then the humans from this different world who enter it. There are so many wonderful concepts in here, from alchemy to a mysterious world coming to life, to the dreamscape and entering it, to gods and goddesses and what really makes them human. And oh, there's just so many concepts here and you can just keep on reading it and reading it. Even though it's over 500 pages, I wanted more. I wanted it to go on forever. I always have this thing with books that talk about dreams as well, and I really loved how Soria's power, it's really gross, but she opens her mouth and all these moths come out, but these moths will land on humans at night and then she can see into their dreamscapes and she can inflict pain, inflict power, but the only thing is they can't see her, so she's really lonely, but that's how she has come to understand humans and what drives them. There's also this really sinister goddess child as well, and she's called Minya, but she's stuck in a 6-year-old's body, but she is like the most evil little kid that you will ever imagine. She just wants to inflict pain on everyone, to cause revenge, and she's got all of these goddess kids wrapped around her little finger, and she's so sinister and she's pretty much the creepiest thing that you've ever thought of. It's interesting seeing the power struggle and the balance up in there. But it's also interesting on the other side of things how both Laszlo and Theon Nero, the sort of antagonistic relationship they have with each other. Theon is basically lauded as the world's savior, the world's hero, someone who can turn coal into gold, but Laszlo is the only one who knows what's up and he's actually the one behind it, and Theon absolutely hates this about him. And gosh, there's just so many wonderful concepts. I love all the characters. I love the mysterious world of the Weep. I love the magic in it. And it's just really beautiful writing, really vivid imagery that really brings this world to life. And it feels like an ancient Greek legend really brought to life. So the only thing about reading this is when you get to the end, there's going to be a massive cliffhanger and the wait for the next book is just way too big. So I hope my rave for Strange the Dreamer will make you pick it up when it's released this month now. And yeah, absolutely pick it up. I think every reader will get something out of it. So I gave Strange the Dreamer 5 stars. I also read Who's Afraid, and this was for OzYA at the start of the month. I covered a bit of this in my last wrap up because it was so fresh in my memory, but basically this is a feminist werewolf romance. The main character, Tommy Grayson, is just really vivacious and she's snarky. She has her own demons, but she just wants to find out about her origins as a werewolf. Well, I did think she was a bit of a special snowflake. I loved how she was a biracial protagonist. So her father's Maori and her mother is Scottish, and I loved how it sort of explored both of these in certain ways and how it became part of Tommy's character. I also love the dark and mysterious mentor who she meets and the dynamic between them. So I gave Who's Afraid 4 stars. If you want to listen to our OzYO podcast, which is on every month on ABC Radio, I'll leave the link down below for our discussion. And yeah, check it out, guys. I also read Windwitch, and this is a follow-up to Truthwitch, which I absolutely loved last year by Susan Dennard. Windwitch felt very much like a middle book. It was so slow and it took me 2 weeks to read it. It was just really hard to get through. I was actually really looking forward to this book because Prince Merrick is like your typical arrogant, snarky protagonist, and you know, he thinks he's all that because he's a prince, but then you've got Safi who really puts him in his place, and I really liked his Windwitch powers. Unfortunately, because all of the original crew are all separated, I found it really hard to get into at times because each of them are meeting new people, they're starting new stories, and it just wasn't as cohesive as the first one. And what I really loved about the first book was the relationship between Safi and Isolde, because they have a really great sisterly bond, but because they're separated in here and one of them is captured, there's not that much there that really strengthens that bond, and you don't really hear much dialogue between them, which was a plus. I loved how this one did expand the world a lot and we get to see a lot of what's happening behind it, but to be honest, I found Safi's perspective to be the most disappointing because like it was just really boring and you wonder like why she's just going along with being captured and everything. I know there's probably a master plan behind it, but then it made it really boring because there was another love triangle that started up and I'm like, no, you need to get back with Merrick, please. I'm looking forward to the next book, but yeah, I felt not much happened in this book and it was great with world building, but it was super slow. So this one I gave 3 stars. So the next book I read was Ironcast by Destiny Soria, and this book had so much potential, but I found it was really disappointing. It had all the elements of a great novel. It felt like a diverse diviners. Both of these girls are from a marginalized background and they experienced racism in 1900s Boston, and I thought it was important to see that happen in history and how these girls push forward with it, and it was really interesting to see that explored, and that part I did like. I don't know how you say it, but I also love their hemopathy, and that's when they have diseased blood that can give them abilities. That also led to a lot of the marginalization that they experienced because people were afraid of it, they didn't know what it was and if it could harm them, so again they're shunned. I love the powers that both of the girls had. So Corinne recites poetry and makes people see things, and Ada plays music and she can manipulate people's emotions. I found a lot of the plot to be quite dull and repetitive. Right now when I'm recalling it, I can't really speak about it clearly without having to look at my notes. And yeah, like it just wasn't a very memorable book for me, even though it had some really great elements. One part I did like as well was a close girl relationship. You could tell that both Corinne and Ava really cared for each other and thought about each other in the decisions that they made. But yeah, because the plot had so many different elements, the racism, the hemopathy, the club, the girls and the friendship that they were forming, it felt like it was heading in different directions. It felt dull, it felt really unfocused and repetitive as well. So yeah, I just found it to be quite boring at times. In the end, I gave Ironcast 3 stars. The last book I tried to read but didn't quite get through was Valentine by Jodi McAllister. This is a Love OzYA read that I was really highly anticipating. I actually DNF'd this book because I read till halfway and I couldn't stand it anymore. I found the writing to be quite juvenile. The main character, Pearl, just sounds like an absolute airhead. and through her dialogue and through her thoughts, she actually speaks in text speak, and she's obsessed with these two guys, and she's in denial about liking this guy called Finn, who is this popular guy that everyone thinks is beautiful, but she doesn't because he has an attitude problem. And seriously, like, one of the lines in the book was like, oh my god, I hate him, I hate him, I hate him, why is he so annoying, why is he taking over my life? It's like that sort of writing, and I just found I could not stand her asinine thoughts anymore. The book is basically about 4 teenagers born on Valentine's Day. People start dying, and then Pearl starts seeing these, like, you know, black cat cross her path. Some of the teenagers get hurt suddenly and they can't recall anything that's happening. But unfortunately, the mystery wasn't enough to keep me going, because I just had to listen to Pearl's thoughts. And like the text speak as well, it just did not feel realistic. Capital letters and, you know, abbreviations like see you later, and oh my gosh, I just could not relate to it at all. There was also a lot of high school drama, and Pearl's constantly thinking about her colleagues and everything, and it's like, she's a school captain, she's in school. I'm sure she has other responsibilities other than stalking these guys on Facebook. I'm actually talking about Valentine and another book, Trouble Tomorrow, which are 2 Aussie YA reads on ABC Radio. I'll link you guys to the link once the podcast goes up. Like, it's super disappointing for me. So this was did not finish. I'll probably give this away on my blog as well. These are the books that I read during February. I really loved Strange the Dreamer, didn't love Valentine, and the rest were all in between. I hope you guys pick up Strange the Dreamer when it comes out later, and I hope you guys also enjoyed my thoughts on the rest of the books. If you loved my video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to see more. Bye guys, I'll catch you guys next time. See ya!